Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck. So, the time has finally come. The hour has finally arrived. You know, many people have sent me messages saying, Jeffrey, when are you gonna make the cheesecake? Well, that day is today. We're not only gonna make any cheesecake though, either. I found a bunch of different cheesecake recipes online and I was like, this looks good and this looks good and this looks good. And then I said to myself, I'm gonna create one pulling a bunch of these things together and I'm gonna make a peanut butter fudge ripple cheesecake that I'm pretty sure is gonna knock your socks off. And the thing is, I never made it before. This is my first time. Don't tell anybody. So you're making this with me for the first time. But the good news is, if this video is up right now, it means it was a success. So it's gonna be awesome, it's gonna be delicious, it's gonna be simple, and it's gonna employ a little bit of patience in the setting process when it's sitting in the fridge. But without further ado, guys, peanut butter fudge ripple cheesecake. So since I'm gonna cook the cheesecake in my beautiful 6-quart Instant Pot, I need a little pan like this so that it's gonna be able to fit inside the Instant Pot. So this is a 6-inch wide by 3-inch deep springform pan. You can get them on Amazon. They're perfect for cheesecakes or a noodle pudding recipe. And you could use a push pan as well, but I like using the springform pan. So get one of these. And then taking some butter, we wanna grease the entire pan. And as you can see, that's very generously greased. Look at that, very generous. Now we want to take a parchment round that's already been cut into a 6-inch diameter, which you can buy in bulk. So it's really easy for these, it's perfect. And we actually want to lay that right on top of the buttered bottom of the pan. So it's perfectly just like that. And then we're actually going to grease this as well, just for extra measure to be safe. And there we go, our perfectly greased pan with our parchment paper line on the bottom. And let's just set that aside as we make the crust. So for our crust, let's add a half a cup of graham cracker crumbs, a quarter of a cup of crushed peanuts, which you can just throw in a food processor with peanuts and just grind them up, and 2 tablespoons or a quarter of a stick of melted butter, and then add that to the mixture as well. Now mix up everything nice and good because this is going to be our crust base. There we go, our crust is perfectly mixed together now, and now we're going to add it to our pot to really make it a crust. Alright, so to do that, let's just add our crust right into the pot, and then we're going to press it down to make it all nice and firm. Use a fork. You can use really any kitchen utensil that would, work well for this, but we want to make sure it's nice and evenly dispersed on the bottom. And I'm probably going to actually end up using a glass spoon to do this as well. And then as you can see, doing this with like the bottom of a glass will really help make it nice and even. And as I'm pressing the glass against the edges of the pan, you'll see the crust starting to rise up the sides of the pan, and that's exactly what we wanted. We want it to look just like that, so it's sort of creeping up a little bit on the sides, and you see how perfectly flattened that's become. Perfect. And I'm gonna pop that into the freezer to set for a few moments as I make the batter for the cheesecake. Now I want to take out our stand mixer for this, or a hand mixer if you have one, but believe me, you definitely need some power to mix a cheesecake batter for sure. You need everything to get nice and melded. So we're going to start with 2 8-ounce bricks of cream cheese and make sure it's at room temperature. This is a very important thing, so it blends in really nice. You don't want it right out of the fridge. Add that. I'm going to add a half a cup of a natural peanut butter. And make sure your jar says natural peanut butter. It's different from regular peanut butter, it's slightly different. 3/4 of a cup of sugar, white granulated, a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 eggs, also at room temperature. We're gonna crack each one inside and add it right to our batter. And then lower your stand mixer, and then make sure we put that on about a medium speed at first. We wanna make sure this is real creamy, so just let it keep blending and raise the speed and gradually work up to that. It's starting to get creamy, so now we can increase the speed a little bit. About a 6, so it's like this. We want all those lumps taken out, so when we start to get to this consistency, we're getting real close. And then let's give our sides of the bowl a scrape so all the side comes into the middle so we can do a final mix. Down, just like this. Scrape the sides a little bit, just like so. And now let's put it back in and send this baby home. Alright, and there we have it. We are now ready to pour this into our fantastic crusted aluminum bowl. That actually sounds disgusting to call something crusted, but in this case, it works just fine for me. And into the freezer we go. Let's get our pan out, and then we're going to pour the batter inside. And there'll be people out there who yell at me for doing this because they say it's not healthy to eat raw eggs, but oh my god. I'll take my chances. So I'm going to now pour in some of the batter, and I'm only going to pour about half of it in for now because you're going to see what I'm going to do next. Get in there and you can see how I'm layering the batter just kind of inside the crust. And once that entire crust level is covered, what we want to do next is we want to layer in some Reese's peanut butter cups, or any kind of peanut butter cup really, for the center layer. And now we're going to cover the rest with the rest of our mixture batter. Just put it on top. And there we have it, looking good. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover that with some aluminum foil. Here we go, just like that. What that's gonna do is it's gonna keep the moisture out of the cheesecake as it's baking from any of the water and the steam inside the pot. So to the pot now, with the trivet inside, add around 2 cups of water to the bottom. And then put down the little sides of the trivet just like that, so they're resting on top of each other, so that way it can fit inside the pan, which I'm going to put inside right now. And now we're going to put the lid on top, and we're going to make sure we are in sealing position, and we're going to go down and hit manual, and we're going to go all the way up to 60 minutes, which might seem like a long time for a cheesecake in your Instant Pot, but trust me guys, 60 minutes for this one. And while that's cooking, I'm going to take care of some cleanup. You know, you got to clean all this stuff up in the sink, so wait a minute. Ta-da! Look at that, all done just with a snap of a finger. God, I love these magical fingers. Alright, so some people might be saying to me, Jeffrey, what's the point of doing this in the Instant Pot versus the oven? It takes about the same time, which is true, they do take about the same time, but the big key difference lies within the cooking method. You see, in the oven, the cheesecake is prone to drying out and getting that cracked, cratered top, which we don't want to happen, whereas in the Instant Pot, it's being cooked in a pressurized environment where moisture and steam is cooking the cheesecake, making it completely moist and fabulous and perfect and no fears of drying out. And that is the difference. Alright, now that that's done, we're going to let that natural release. We're not going to quick release this at all. And that natural release is going to take about 30 minutes or so. I know it's another 30 minutes, but trust me, this is exactly how you have to cook it for a successful, perfectly moist, and also slightly firm cheesecake. Now that we've carefully transported our pan over here, we're going to now take the tin foil off the top of it. Oh, that looks amazing. And we're gonna let this set for 1 hour just out here at room temperature, okay? And then we're gonna pop it into the fridge after 1 hour. And to anybody who's concerned about this little jiggle here, that's fine, it's normal. It's normal to be like that in this state, that's why it's cooling. So just don't shake it around too much, but it's normal if you're concerned about that little bit of a jiggle there. And now that an hour has passed and we've set it room temperature during that time, we're going to pop it into the fridge carefully, and we're gonna leave it in there for a minimum of 6 hours. Now, if you're anything like me, your inner golden girl is gonna come out and say, screw the wait, and try to get into that fridge right now and cut yourself a slice. Don't do it. You must stop the temptation and you must resist because it needs that minimum of 6 hours in the fridge to set. Even better if you let it go up to 10 hours, I should say. So actually, a really good tip, make this before you go to sleep. Then when it's setting in the fridge overnight, you won't be tempted to eat it. And then you can have cheesecake for breakfast, just like Dorothy, Rose, Sophia, and Blanche at the table. Again, bottom line, don't touch that thing at all between 6 to 10 hours from now. Alright, 6 hours later, good to see you again, old friend. Ooh, look at how nice and stiff it's gotten. So we're gonna put it right here, and then we're gonna carefully remove the pan. And take a knife and carefully go around the edges so we can easily get this out. So because I'm by myself right now, I'm gonna very carefully unlatch this, and I'm gonna use both hands. And now that we've done that, look at that, it's coming right off. And oh boy. Oh. Yes! Look at how beautiful that is! I feel like I just had a child! Okay, and now here's where that parchment paper comes in really handy. With a really thin knife, like a steak knife, go underneath and sort of begin to unhinge the paper from the bottom of the pan. And it's going to be much easier with 2 hands, so I'm going to do that on my own, but I'm just showing you how to get started on this. And now that paper will really be able to peel right off. So let's get that off and then put it on a plate. And isn't she beautiful? Oh, just gorgeous. Sophia would be so proud. So what we want to do now is we want to take a chocolate spread of some sort for the topping. I'm just using this one, but you can use any kind you like. And we're going to put a layer of that right on top. So just get a nice layer of that chocolate spread all throughout the top of our cheesecake. And there we go, just like that. Now let's get 6 more peanut butter cups and halve them just like that. Now taking each halved peanut butter cup, we're going to put it on as decoration on our cheesecake and stick it in to the spread. And we're gonna do this so it goes around kind of like a clock. Ta-da! And there we have it. I actually only ended up using 10 of the halves, and I gave the other 2 away to Richard because he was begging me for them. So there we have it, guys. There's our beautiful cheesecake. I'm gonna pop it right back into the fridge for a little bit, and then I'm gonna cut a slice. And there we go. Let's get you out of there. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. And let's cut a beautiful slice of this baby. It should be nice and ready. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. And there we have it, nice and plated. Oh God, just beautiful. All right, guys, here we go. Oh my God. Already I'm in love. Oh my God. That is on another level. I feel like I'm at the Cheesecake Factory. It's that good. And that's a compliment. I think that if all the Golden Girls tried this cheesecake, they would all move to Astoria so I can make it for them more. Wow. You guys, this is it. This is the real deal. Peanut Butter Fudge Ripple cheesecake. For more recipes like these, if you enjoy these videos, go to Pressure Look Cooking at Facebook. That's facebook.com/Pressure Look Cooking, and all my other channels, social media. Guys, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video. You are gonna lose your minds over this one. Holy wow.